is.
Oh, we're live.
Oh, it didn't do the countdown?
Nope.
Hello,
I
everyone.
wonder why.
You can do the countdown now if you want, Robin.
I thought I did. I'm what do you call it?
We're there. There we are.
Oh,
We are live.
I'm sorry, everybody. Bear with me a second. Oh, okay, the sound is off. Okay, that's good. I guess I would have heard an echo if it wasn't. I don't know what happened to my countdown, but anyway. All right, we're here. Welcome, everybody. We are doing a deck dialogue to the Tiny Traveller, Sasurabito. But before we begin, I want to welcome and introduce everybody that's here. All right, Gerald, now I'm stuck. I'm on brand. How do I get back? Oh, comments. Maybe that'll...
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
That takes you to it.
See, I need a little mentor here to help me. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, Gerald, introduce yourself and your channel, please.
I'm Gerald, also known as Tarotstache. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I do lots of things on my channels, usually on Mondays and Tuesdays. And where I like to talk to people and celebrate everybody being their awesome self. And we do deck casuals. I'll show you mine, and other fun stuff. So that's me.
Okay, and we'd like to welcome Ange. I think this might be her debut live with other people. So, Ange, please introduce yourself and your channel.
Hey, thanks, Robin, for having me. Yeah, this is definitely the first time where I'm part of a collab, like focus group of talking about something on here. I have been interviewed live on other channels, but this is the first of this type. So thank you for having me. This is great. I recently acquired this tiny little deck and I've been loving it. So this is a perfect opportunity to share it. Yes, my channel is called Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. Thank you, Gerald. And I've recently come back making videos. I just finished up Tarot Vlogmas and Tarot Gratitude Challenge. And now I will be focusing on creating more content on my channel, featuring readings using my trinkets, what that means, talking about mental health matters, and also grief. Those are topics that are near and dear to my heart. So that's me. So thank you so much for having me.
I don't think I know the backstory on the name of your channel. What is the trinkets aspect? Can you give a little brief?
Yeah, sure. So trinkets, this big bowl of trinkets. So I use trinkets or charms to layer my readings. So I read with Oracle tarot cards, and then on top of that, I sprinkle some trinkets on it to give it a little bit more depth and layers. And I'm just in love with symbolism because it's all around us, and that's how we interpret things as humans. And it's just my thing that I do. So yeah.
It's like sprinkles, colored sprinkles on ice cream.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So if you all don't know me, I'm Robin. My channel's Toadstool Tarot. And I want to be very thankful and appreciative to everybody who has ever subscribed to me. I don't usually toot my own horn, but you know, if you haven't subscribed and you're in there, please subscribe, because I just checked my numbers lately and I'm about 8 digits short of 1,000.
Wow.
And we could conceivably bust 1,000 tonight if I can get 8 more subscribers. So
that would be amazing.
This is a little early in the chat for me to ask for that, but maybe we'll remind again later on. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that.
Absolutely.
I don't usually make much about numbers, and I know a lot of people don't even turn the numbers on in their subscriptions. And as time goes by, I care about it less and less, but there are like little landmarks, and it's just kind of affirming to see when you passed a landmark. So, you know, after I pass 1,000, I'll shut up for quite a while about that.
Well, once you pass it, well, you can already do the community channel, can't you?
I don't know what that means even.
Okay. Then I won't even bother to, you know, Bring it up.
We'll have a discussion about that in private later on. Okay. So next thing I want to do is, before I welcome in the people in the chat room, I want to tell them that I have I don't even know what you called it. It's not exactly a sponsor, but I did a little thing about my Christmas haul. And for Christmas, I got myself on Etsy this little mug that's got toadstools on it. I absolutely love it. And I raved so much about it on that little walkthrough that the people that created it contacted me, and they said, we'd like to send you something. So they sent me this enormous tumbler.
Oh my God, that's great.
And this thing holds about a quart of water, and it's great. And they said, we love so much that you shared the mug on your channel that we're going to link it on our website, and we're going to offer your viewers 10% off on stuff they ordered from the website. Now, the place is called La Brazen Arts, and I think the website is LEBRAZEN.com, lebrazen.com. And they do.
And you know, right now, Ange is going to find that if you know, other mods haven't found it.
If you have trouble, let me know. I could just paste it in the chat.
The Brazen.
Oh, that is so sweet, Robin.
The only thing is, I'm looking at their page, and it says "as seen" on Toadstool Tarot, and then it says "go to episode," and it clicks that episode, but it doesn't exactly tell you how to get the 10% discount. So I don't know. I suppose when you contact them, you just mention me, and that they remind them they had offered a 10% discount, and they'll give it to you. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to show people that.
Show that again, because I know Zane likes mushrooms as well, and he just popped in.
It's not glossy like the other, but it's got a nice, matte textured feel, and the colors are. I don't think it's a decal. It might be a decal. It's not enamel like the mug. It's a little more muted. But all the mushrooms are there. It's fantastic.
That's nice.
And
I love it.
It's making me more healthy because I don't drink enough water, and this thing holds almost a quart. So I've been drinking a lot of water lately.
Wow.
And when I'm not drinking that, I'm drinking hot beverages in my little mug. So these are my iconic Toadstool Tarot things now that I use to.
Did you find them, Ange?
No,
because Jamie couldn't find him either.
All right, I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and
Jamie's the link queen, and she can't find them. I know, right?
I mean, between the two of you, it's like, ooh, there's gonna be.
I just got it in there. Maybe I said it too fast to be spelled properly. I'm not sure. It looks like it went in.
I think I was typing.
Did you put it in the private chat or the?
I put it on the YouTube, chat.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so that's business done.
Cool.
Welcome to chatters. So let's see who's in the room. Let me backtrack a little bit. Hello and welcome to Tarotstache. Give a little wave. Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. Jamie, hello Jamie. Pepper Jackie. Patrice, hello Patrice. And Vernetta, if she's there. Let's see. And Kristen Louise, hello. Regina. If I got everybody. Zane. Mixtress Ray. Kim Moon Whisper.
Oh, Kim's here too.
Is that? I think I'm caught up. Let's see. Oh, Candy Soul and Soil. Tori Azadach.
Oh, Ange made that person disappear.
Oh, okay.
It was a troll or whatever we call them.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's it. I think I'm caught up. So that's hello and welcome everybody, and we'll see who pops in as we go along. First thing I wanted to discuss, we're talking about tonight about the Sasurabito Tarot, the Tiny Traveller edition. And I don't know when this came out. I think fairly recently.
It came out like a month or 6 weeks ago, I think.
And I'm not sure, is it out of print already or unavailable now?
Last I heard is it. No, I don't know if it's sold out, but it went so quickly. You know, she's going to have to do another run. Yeah. They're going to do another run. So,
well,
yeah. So according to her Etsy shop, she's just on break right now until February 1st. So maybe when she comes back, she'll offer another run. But for now, it just says she's on break. So I will post the link in the chat. And then if you can just put your email address in if you're interested, she'll email you when her shop is back open if anybody's interested in getting it. But
before I get into the box issues, Ange, did you want to read that little statement of how to pronounce her name and giving a little background on her?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so for those that are not familiar with the artist behind the Sasurabito, or as sometimes in the community referred to as the Sassy Burrito, her name is Stasia Burrington, and her first name is spelled Stasia. So it's not pronounced like Stasia, like I thought. It's actually Stasia. So, and her pronouns are she, they, for anyone that is interested in knowing that. And this is a little blurb that she has on her website about herself and her art that she creates, because she has created more than just this tarot deck. She also creates other pieces of art and also does work for children's books as well, which is really interesting. So if somebody could also link her website, I know Jamie will probably be right on that. So, okay, so it says, I create personal, intimate, edgy, and cute artwork. I want to inspire discussion, to form connections, and to respond to all of this pain and beauty that we live in, to share all of these human feelings, and to inspire compassion and humility. I believe in visual art's power to communicate the nuances that haven't yet learned in words. I believe in the imperfect, the cracked, the broken, the aging, the quiet beauty that is so subtle that it could easily be overlooked, but when noticed, stops time. I crave a simpler, quieter way of life, a more accepting attitude towards existence, and I know we all crave beauty. Our definition of beauty needs only to be pried a little bit wider. The stains in our favorite teacups, the wrinkles around our eyes, the uneven stitches in a hand-knit quilt, these are all full of energy of age, the power of being loved over and over again. A reclaiming of heritage is in order in a world where it's easy to throw away than to mend. An embracing of our flaws is in order to be kinder to ourselves and to be kinder to the world. Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Thank you. I wanted to talk, when I got mine, actually, it's funny. The main reason I got this was not the contents or quality of the deck itself. It had more to do with the size. So, I mean, size is a thing for me. I actually like smaller decks. In fact, I tend to veer away from oracle decks because they're generally too large for me. That's contrary to other things, Gerald. But in terms of decks,
it's me. I had to say that. So
in terms of decks, I actually love small hand palm-sized decks.
May I show a comparison to it from the original size?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
So here's the original, which is the original RWS, or the Waite Smith is that size, and so there it is. So you see, it's about maybe 3/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch reduced. So
So is the original one actual Waite-Smith size?
It is.
It
Yes.
is. Okay.
Yes,
So
it's exactly that.
just
I
in
checked
case
it.
you're in doubt, there you go. Here's another example.
Thank you. That's perfect, Robin.
And also, I wanted to show you in comparison to an oracle deck like Forest Fae, it is slightly, oh, you're not going to be able to see probably. It's slightly wider, but the
Yeah.
same height.
Mhm.
And then also, when compared to the tarots in a tin,
Yeah, it's a unique size. It really is. Yeah.
the tarot in a tin, we have, oh, I'll never get used to this camera orientation thing. It's the same width, but you can see it's considerably, well, not considerably taller. It's a little taller. I would say maybe 1/8 of an inch taller.
Yeah.
Than the tin size. Although I don't think all those tin ones are exactly the same size. So that may be misleading. But
one of the things,
that's the centennial tin size. So
okay. One of the things that Zane told me is it's the same ratio as the standard Waite-Smith. So they kept the ratio and just made it smaller. So
now I had issues when I got my copy. I had experienced Tuckbox rage. And I decided to use the Jennifer Ball method of opening boxes when you have Tuckbox rage. I don't know if you all know about this. I heard about it on Simon's channel at the Hermit's Cave. And since one of Gerald's talks about magical tools, I bought myself an athame, which actually isn't an athame. It's an athame because I say it is. It's a letter opener, but it's a nice
two-sided. Yeah,
it's a nice little. I think it's stainless steel. But anyway, I was so anxious that even using this method, I was like too quick and not careful opening. What you do, you take the flat side of a blade like a letter opener or a butter knife, something like that, or even like scissors. As long as you're careful, one of the blade of scissors, you stick it under the thing and you pry and it pulls it open very easily. There you go. But I did it so quickly, I was so anxious to get into the box that I tore the top flap on my box. So
another tool that I learned about to open up boxes, not only the little flap, but just the plastic that comes on all of the decks. I heard of this through Julie Pickaboo Rose, who heard it from Queen Ossette, and they use seam rippers. And now I know they're sharp, so you have to be careful. But a seam ripper, it has changed the way I have opened decks, folks. I'm telling you here. So, of course, when they come wrapped in the plastic, they always like bunch at a little corner. So you just carefully do that and it opens it nicely. And then you can also take the seam ripper right at the flap carefully, and you can just like sort of lift up and it opens it. So get yourself a seam ripper.
You don't by chance have one within arm's reach to show us so people know what a seam ripper looks like, do you?
Not at hand, no. But
isn't it one that has like a little kind of two little points, almost like a hook or something, or a little U-shape kind of thingy on it?
Yeah, let me see if I can find a picture. But you have a couple of new people who showed up in the chat.
Okay. Oh, yes. Welcome, Ben of Beneficial Tarot and Sylvain of Sylvain's Deadly Sins. I don't know if I've seen Sylvain here before or not, but I have responded to one of his VRs. And does that catch me up? I'm not sure.
I think so.
Yep.
So let's see, where are we?
This is a seam ripper.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They're inexpensive.
Yes, it's perfect.
Oops. Don't miss out.
Yeah.
Get yours today.
Yeah, don't miss out, everybody who's watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to Toadstool Tarot. He only needs 8 more to get to 1,000. But then there's also
order your Seamrippers.
Ange from Tiny Trinkets and Tarot, and I'm Tarotstache.
And maybe Jamie will post a link to Seamrippers on Amazon.
Oh, geez. Oh, no. Oh, my. Robin, I had the same problem with the box, and it doesn't necessarily stay. But again, it's whatever. It's not as nice as the original, which comes in a lovely box.
I saw somebody recently, and I can't remember who now, what they did, because the little cuts on the flap get stuck on the little inner ears or whatever you call them. And what they did was they took scissors and angled the side flaps. They snipped the corners, so they still had little tuck-in flaps, but the flaps didn't go all the way to the front of the box.
Yeah,
they did a little angle snip on that, and so that the front flap didn't get stuck on that trying to open and close it. So that may be an idea to try.
I saw that recently, and I don't remember where I saw it, but I remember seeing it modified that way. That's a good idea.
Is that Rosemary?
Rosemary?
Maybe.
I see Joey.
Good Journeys.
Joe.
No, was that video on? Anyhow, go on.
Oh, might be. Okay, so we've talked about the card size format. I've seen, I think, 3 different cardstock formats for this deck. Now this one comes in a sort of a linen texture cardstock, but I have seen walkthroughs of the full size in a glossy stock, and I believe also a matte stock. So I don't know how many editions of this there are out there.
I don't, but the one that I have, the regular size, is the glossy.
And I had heard people complaining about the glossy stock. Usually I don't mind it. It's not great usually for photographing, but.
And the regular size comes with gilding.
And I actually like the feel of the linen stock, but even these without the gloss, if the light hits them at a certain angle, the little sort of like fly's eye, segments of the linen tend to reflect and pick up light that make it hard for me to see the image clearly. But it just
these are glorious.
Depends on what your light source is like, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really like this.
It's such a good tactile experience that I've shuffled them to the point where my edges are like kind of a little beat up, but I don't mind because I really like a real worn deck, so we're good.
And you're an overhander?
For this deck I am, because it's so small, I can't riffle this little thing.
I was riffling it. I riffle it.
Oh,
these look to me like they would be easy to riffle because they're long and thin. They're not short and stubby.
Let's try it. Oh dear.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to really beat this thing up.
I won't do it because I'm afraid of damaging my cards, and I'm not a very good riffler yet. I only riffle decks that are like cheap and replaceable or I don't care that much about. So anything I feel too precious about, I don't do that with yet. But maybe as I get better at it, I will. What do you... Oh, and the main attraction for me about this deck wasn't even so much the imagery as much as it was the size format. I really like... I mean, I do like the images, a lot of them. But for me, what the selling point was the size. I don't think I would have run out and bought the larger size. But when this came along, it really drew me in. So that sold me. Stasia, you sold me with the right size format on this.
Yes. The size is
Yeah.
what pulled me in too, because you know, like Gerald was saying, this has been around for a while now. And I've heard so many people talk about it, and you know, I was intrigued by the imagery, but not enough to buy it. But when I saw that tiny word on there, I was like, it's mine. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've had a couple of more people pop in.
Yeah, I just saw Jen of Science to Soul Tarot come in, and I saw Chris Kelly McFadden just came in.
Married man.
He just got
he's a
the
married
normal
man.
sized one. Are any of the images different?
They are not. They are
Gerald
not.
could tell
They're
you.
the same. They're the
'Cause
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. No changes in the artwork. And in fact, well, if I can find, hang on, I'll do a comparison. Please hold. I have these in order. So basically, there you go.
Yeah.
So the color looks a little different because of the finish.
Yeah. I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the color might be slightly different because of the gloss, but it's the same image. And in fact, really, when you look at the large one, they're clear. You don't really need to have, you know, they read well.
Before we get into the cards themselves, I wanted to ask. I had lack of a book ? Now I know the little one came with like a little fold-out pamphlet, and I believe Ange said she had downloaded a PDF or something. Gordon, Gerald, whoever you are, Gerald got a booklet with the larger size.
Yeah,
he's holding up and showing.
And you know, it probably has the same information that you printed off, Ange. I would think so.
So it's a little more than the little flyer, right?
Yeah, it's 62 pages.
Oh, considerably more. Okay.
So, and here's the artist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I did a flip through on my channel. I'm not sure.
Does it by any chance say in or near the front of the book when this deck originally came out? Hey, Joey Luna. Sorry.
I have the 6th printing, which was 2019.
Okay. Oh, so it has been around a while. I thought it had only been out several years, but if that's the 6th printing, I guess it's been out quite a while.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be quite a while. It could have just sold out because it's so good. Yeah, listen to me. It's so good.
That's right.
So,
I have spoken.
What do you guys think about? So you can get a book even if you don't get the large size. You can download. So, did you have to buy that, or was it a free download?
No, it's a free PDF download, and I just put the link in the chat. So even if you don't have the deck and you just want to check out what the artist has to say about each card, she shares that for free. So
cool.
I wanted to ask you what you think about the designs on the box and the backs of the cards.
Yes.
I'll go first because everybody's quiet. I like the design. I'm good with it. This is it, you know, it's just easier to show it on the large size. I like the back. So it's reversible, and you know, and the box, you know, the Tiny Traveller comes with that. So, and the original has this, but we're not talking about the original.
Oh.
Ange, do you have any thoughts or opinions about the box or back designs?
I really like the design because it sort of goes with what I was just reading about her art style and how it invites you into these deeper places within the human experience. but yet the imagery that she uses on some of the cards are gentle enough. But what I've learned really quickly is these these can give some pretty profound readings. So I really do enjoy that the back sort of represent that with the bones and the moth for rebirth. Love it.
Okay. I like the design on the front of the box. The gold foil is a little confusing, but I guess it's because there's gold foil edging on the original size. There's no gold on these cards from the Tiny Traveller. And I don't like the back design, so I'm the lone curmudgeon here. I like the moths, but I don't care particularly for the bones, and I don't know if those are seeds or petals or pips or what they are floating around there. And there's a little black dot in the center instead of the metallic circle.
Okay.
I'm just not fond of that. But it doesn't bother me enough to deter me from the deck. It's just,
And for those that don't know, the Sasurabito is actually a Japanese word that loosely translates to the wanderer. It actually says right here in the beginning of the guidebook, 78 card decks inspired loosely by the Rider-Waite deck, contemporary living in the Pacific Northwest, and Japanese and Buddhist ideas. The Japanese word Sasurabito most closely relates to wanderer. It's an older literary term that is falling out of use, meant to describe a person ever searching for a place of healing and refuge.
Love that.
This deck is designed to accompany the curious wandering querent, which would be us, and those that come to us for querency questions. Yes.
Okay. I think we'll move on to some favorite cards and go in turns. And I'm going to go first. And I have a lot of them, so we'll do, we'll do like 3 at a time each. So my first favorite card is the 8 of Cups. And I didn't initially understand this, but I love it more for how it reads than I do for the imagery itself, actually, because the traditional 8 of Cups in the Rider-Waite is someone in the night walking away from their past.
Yeah.
And when you look at this card, you think about hair growth. Hair growth is done over time. And here is this figure leaning over, cutting their hair off, which is in essence removing them from their past or leaving their history behind them, which I thought was a really cool way of interpreting the 8 of Cups. So that's why I love this card. The second one.
Hang on, Ange, was this also one of your favorites?
Yes, actually, it was.
It was one of my favorites too. Yeah, it's in my favorites too.
All right, then before I go on to my other 2, if you 2 have anything to comment on that card, go ahead.
I just love, basically, to add what you were saying, just changing things up, a fresh haircut, a new wardrobe. It can really make a difference when you're changing things up in your life. And of course, we can take it deeper, but that's sort of the surface level of what I get from the imagery.
Yeah. I also like how, yes, when you get a haircut, it can be a dramatic change and it can actually lighten your load. And the fact that this person is doing it themselves is pretty significant, I think. So I love that one.
Okay, I just wanted to welcome Colleen Amadon. And she asked, is there gold gilding on the Tiny Traveller? And there is not. She finds the gold gilding on the regular deck a little hard on her hands. So thought about getting the tiny one. It's perfect. It doesn't have gilding on it. I feel the same way about gilding. So, in fact, I tend to sand off most of my gilding, which people shriek at. But, it makes it more approachable for me to handle them. So, yeah, I am thrilled that this doesn't have gilding on it, this particular version. My second...
Hang on. Chris actually added, if you look at the amount of hair she's cutting off, it's a really serious commitment. And there's no going back.
So, that's beautiful.
Well,
That's true. Yeah.
No going back, but it will grow back.
Yes, but like you brought up, Robin, which is a really great point. It took a lot of time for it to grow that way. So
Yeah.
you're releasing and removing that. So
And we measure out our lives in time, and that's a time frame, and there's history that goes with that hair growth, whether you identify it that way or not. I just love the symbolism of it. This one, I'll need a little bit of help from you. I love the image in this card, although I don't fully understand it. It's the Page of Cups. And she has sort of a constellation on her little dress, and she's holding up a key and a bow. And at heart level, there is a keyhole in her dress. So I kind of get the keyhole thing. I'm not clear on the bow aspect. So if anybody would care to venture thoughts or ideas or interpretations on why a Page of Cups has a key and a bow, is she going to use the bow instead of an arrow? I mean, the key instead of an arrow to shoot with the bow? I just don't know what to make of that bow. It looks great compositionally, but I just don't quite get the symbolism behind it.
I was looking at the book. I'm sorry, Ange, go ahead.
No, I was just going to hold it up for people to see. You're good.
I was looking at the book, and she talks about how in some cards, it's a romantic, and in some versions of the Page of Cups, it's shown as Cupid. And so I think that may be the nod to Cupid. And the fact that she holds that key in her hand, I think, is pretty significant.
Cupid shoots the arrow that's sort of the key to your heart or the key to your love life or something.
And so she is her emotions she has easy access to their emotions.
Right.
Also, the bow is actually facing wrong way. It's facing as if someone were going to fire at her rather than her firing away. So the direction of the bow there.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I never really gave that one too much thought. And it didn't turn up in my favorites. So thank you for that contemplation.
The third one in my favorite, and I don't know why it is, maybe it reminds me of me, or there are a number of guys in this deck that this is the King of Cups. There are a number of guys in this deck that I'm very much attracted to. There are also some that I'm not attracted to. And this is odd because I'm not usually attracted to sort of old geezers, but I find this particular card really appealing to me. So I don't know what to say.
This is also a favorite of mine. He's so adorable.
And it's very comforting to me in a way that, like, serving up coffee, whether he's going to drink it himself or offer it to you, there's something gentle and friendly about it. And I also love the age represented in this deck. There are a few cards like that. And this is just one of them. I love this card.
I also like when you look, you can tell he's very happy where he is in his eyes. It's very emotive. So
yes, there's something like oddly familiar with this gentleman. It's sort of like, I mean, I can't say that I know somebody in life that looks exactly like this, but I just get this feeling of comfort and familiarity and kindness. Yeah. And like, I would love to have a cup of coffee with him. He's just so sweet. Yep. That was one of my faves too.
Gerald, can I presume upon you to check the book to see if there's any mention of the foliage in the background? Because I don't know what that's doing there.
Let me check.
I like the picture in the cup too. They're sort of like, remind me of those. There's like these enamel cups that have that speckled enamel design on them. I love those.
There is not, Robin, but those sort of show up in various cards, that type of thing. So I think it's an aesthetic choice.
Okay. Well, those are my first three, so I will hand off to whichever one of you would like to go next and share your first three favorites.
You want to go, Ange?
Sure, I will. So the Six of Cups is a fave of mine. This is such a different take on the Six of Cups. How you can see the six different foliage coming out of the chest. And if you look close enough, there are six butterflies as well. I had to really struggle to find the sixth one because it sort of hides, oh, I'm backwards, right here behind the person. That's actually a butterfly as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's six butterflies, and I just love the feelings that I get from this card, with, of course, the original meaning of the Six of Cups, but it just adds like this layer of depth of like true inner somethingness. I don't know. It's more of a feeling that I get than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that one of your faves too, Gerald?
It was not. It didn't make the cut because I tried to keep my cards down, but I do have I do like this version of it, especially because the I like how the flowers are growing out of this person's chest. And I think that's just really it's a very nice approach to the meaning of the Six of Cups.
Right, like the blooming memories that you hold within you, and it's just like, oh yeah, you can get lost in it.
I like it too, but again, I was trying to limit my choices, so I think it was more of a neutral for me, but neutral on the positive side rather than the negative side. So yeah, I do like this card.
Nice. I just had to get rid of a troll there. Okay, so the next one of my faves was the Queen of Cups.
Oh yeah. That's one of my faves too.
Yeah. So again, we do have that age representation as well, but I see myself as a Queen of Cups and full of compassion. As a matter of fact, most of the cards that showed up for my favorites are all Cups cards, which probably doesn't surprise any of you because I'm an emotional, like, compassionate, I don't know, person.
When did this happen, Ange? Oh my gosh.
Did you notice? Did any of you notice? But anyway, so her kindness, I mean, and then of course we have like the heart on the forehead. And I just love the spaciousness of this card to represent sort of kindness and compassion for all things, like all things living and in space and everything else. So, I love it.
A number of cards in the deck that have hearts on them like that. Now, this one, the heart is sort of over the, I don't know if that would be considered over the third eye. It's a little high, but it's in that general area. I'm not sure what that signifies, the heart and mind somehow connection. I mean, I'm not, I get the sort of comfort there by the way she's caressing the bowl, so I'm not sure that the heart was necessary, but it's an added little symbol that maybe means something to you guys or others. I don't know, but I do love this card. And I love that her eyes are closed too. It's like she's looking inward,
I'm pretty sure the book, the little PDF mentions emotional intelligence. And I just sort of saw the heart and on the head in that respect. After I read it, I didn't initially see it in that way, but it makes sense.
I also love that the constellation in the night sky is mirrored in the bowl, the contents of the bowl. And perhaps in her mind, as her eyes are closed, contemplating about that. I don't know.
Yes. And then my third, so like you, I have more than three, but we'll just stick it to three, like you said. Do we take turns? So the other one is the Three of Swords. Now, I know this is a little graphic, but the Three of Swords normally is. It's just, it's different. So in this picture, we see that the knives or swords are coming through her back, where in a traditional Three of Swords, you see them sort of piercing through the front and out the sides or the back. And you can see here how she is sort of contemplating and just dealing with the pain and the grief and the agony instead of and I get it, instead of like the Ten of Swords, for example, this is not a favorite, but I just wanted to compare. Here, the Ten of Swords is through the front of the person, where normally in the Rider-Waite-Smith they're in the back of the person, and normally in the three they're in the front, and this is in the back. So I thought that was a really interesting take on that. And it's just the Three of Swords is my favorite card anyways in a deck, but I really love when someone is creative with it and not just using that silly clip art heart with some swords through it.
Right.
This really gives us more to jump off of.
This one for me, initially I thought, oh, that's pretty gory or grotesque, but it actually doesn't bother me. And I often, when I read cards, I often jump at like little cliche sayings. So this one obviously means, you know, stabbed in the back, which to me hints at betrayal, which is perhaps not as obvious a key word in the regular RWS Three of Swords as in this deck. No, I'm not saying that this only means betrayal, but it does reflect on that aspect for me more than I've seen in other decks. I do love this card.
I like this card too. Again, I limited my number, but I like how I mean, this one we actually see a person and we don't see the clip art heart, and this person is still standing.
Exactly.
So that feels important to me.
And there's a little snippet in the PDF about this, and it says, feeling wronged, stabbed in the back, hurt. This card carries feelings of great loneliness, suffering, rejection, betrayal, separation, disappointment. You may feel lost and surprised by the pain. The Three of Swords can either represent a wrong being done to you or the possibility of you hurting others. Are you hurt, or do you wield the blades? So,
before we jump to Gerald, I want to just check quickly on the chat room. I don't want them to feel like we're completely ignoring them. So lots of hellos. Joey says, you are a head person, Sylvain. I'm a heart one. I piss off everyone. I don't think that's true, Joey. Kristen Louise, she's holding even the darkness to her bosom. Yeah. Thank you, Joey. He says, Robin's the epic host. Well, I don't know about that, but thank you.
You are.
I stumble and bumble, but you know, it's warts and all Robin, you know.
Yeah, you're Robin. That's what we love. We love Robin.
So let's see what else we got here. Ten of Swords is bad. LOL. Said, oh, it's Sheila Inquisitive Tarot. Hello. I didn't say hello. Robin's the magician in our community. That's another one. Okay. Let's see. I like how she's looking at the points through her chest so nonchalantly, says Kristen Louise. Colleen says, I totally agree with showing the pain of betrayal. Patrice says, ouch. Zane says, that Six of Cups got me. I think I'll be ordering this deck in the near future. Okay. I think I'm caught up. Okay, Gerald, you're three.
Okay, I have three. Zane, look away. Look away, Zane. Don't pay attention. Look away. I actually like this Fool, and the reason I like this Fool, it's a happy older person, older man, and what I like about it is it reminds me that life is cyclical, where you know, we finish it with the world, but then we can be youthful, and we can be foolish at any age. So and it's just it's a very active card. It's a lot of movement in it.
Can you explain to me why that would be a problem for Zane, or are you telling tales out of school?
He just doesn't like it.
He
just doesn't like it. We've had the conversation. He doesn't like it. It's okay. Sorry, Zane, but I'm teasing him because I'm like going, ooh.
I don't think
I
I
thought.
have.
Okay.
I don't think I have
yeah.
an issue with the card. It's a little confusing. It kind of looks like his beard is so long that he's like got caught up and stuck in his own beard, like some unruly dreadlock that just went like berserk or something. And
Yeah.
I can see the frustration of that, but I don't know if I would read that as a fool image or not. I guess it's more like the fool in Marseille decks, more of the crazy person, kind of fool rather than the carefree fool. It's like the madman aspect of the fool or something.
Yeah, carefree is a good word for this one. And I just, again, love the age representation because we don't see that very often in tarot cards. And this made my favorites as well. I mean, it just makes me so happy looking at him. And I've worked in many healthcare facilities where, let's just say, I may have seen this a time or two.
It's part of life.
It really is, and I'm not trying to be rude about it. It's just it's part of life, and things happen, and we just roll with it and have a good time. So, and Ben was saying that this is him at 90.
Yeah. Yeah. So my next card is I'm doing my majors. My next card is the Lovers. I really like the Lovers. And the reason I like the Lovers is you can tell that this is a card about connecting. And I mean, with the swirls around it, the red swirls, the red thread, it's not gender specific, which is important to me. The Lovers card is about finding people who complete you and to help you. So it's a very active card for me. So
for me, it looks like twins in the womb. It looks very confusing to me. They're totally caught up in a little cycle or circle of embrace there.
This one also made my favorite pile. So,
cool.
And especially with us being in the year of the Lovers, it really stands out even more maybe for me. What I see is a sort of unity of self, like, really getting to know who you are so that you're fully capable of loving someone else. The whole idea of like choices, but really the choice of getting to know who you really are and your interconnectedness with all things, which is the red threads that just how I see the card.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Gerald, did you have a third card, or was that the third card?
My third card is the World.
Oh, that's a favorite of mine too. I love that one.
She looks very content and very happy. So
yeah.
So
I like it. It didn't make my favorites.
Yeah.
I was trying to narrow it down.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that one too.
I like her representation, and I also like there's a sort of a friendly fearlessness around handling those snakes there too. There's just like this comfort and ease with this representation. She's at ease with her body. She's at ease with these snakes. In fact, one of the snakes looks like it's smiling.
Yeah.
It is one snake, I guess. I thought it was two. It's an Ouroboros. Ouroboros.
Yeah. I know it's a hard word to say.
She looks very inviting. Usually they're kind of dancing or stepping out of the circle. She's almost like, the party's in here. Come on in, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It feels Hawaiian to me for some reason. It's probably those flowers.
Could be.
I just appreciate that, like, she's a chunky, like I'm a chunky girl myself. So I really like to see some chunk once in a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So cool.
So that's your third, Gerald. why don't we go, let's alternate a little bit. Maybe now you're 3, if you have a pile of not so favorite ones, we can go to. And I'm
Yes.
going to start with this one, the 9 of Pentacles. Now, I think this is a really beautiful card. However, it gives me pause. Is this cultural appropriation? Because to me, it looks very Native American. And maybe I'm just reading something into it that isn't there. But it just kind of makes me wonder. I just have to ask myself if this is okay or if this is cultural appropriation. And I'll leave it at that.
That's interesting. I don't see it that way, but I can see where you're coming from with that. I just don't quite see it that way. And of course, I can't find it in the deck because it's in the bottom. So I'll let Gerald go on say what he wants to say here.
I don't feel that way, Robin.
Okay. Then it's just me.
So
What do you make of the eye over her head? Sort of cosmic eye or something, or ancestors possibly?
well, I also think it's partially is introspection. You know, and yes, it could be that the cosmic eye as well.
Mm-hmm.
So. Try to remember 9 of Pentacles. That is the woman with the bird usually, right? And it's sort of a proud or prideful card usually.
Yes.
Is this a falcon on her? I can't tell what kind of bird that is. I'm thinking
it looks like it.
Yeah.
Something in that hawk category.
My second choice is the Emperor. It's funny, but these are not cards that I dislike for the look of them. This one is a very modern representation, and I dislike it because it doesn't feel like it goes with the rest of the deck. It's a man in a business suit. It looks like he stepped right out of Wall Street. And it's a great illustration. It just feels to me like it belongs in a different deck. That's my only reservation with it.
I agree. Actually, it's one of I have 3 that are not favorites of mine, and this is one of them. I just feel like it's too, like it's out of place. Like I don't get it. So, okay, we see some stubble. We see he's in a suit. Like, what am I supposed to take away from this? Like, if I didn't know, the sort of traditional RWS, what am I supposed to even get out of a man just standing here? And like, is that smoke coming from, like, is he smoking a cigarette or a cigar?
A pipe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care for it myself either. And there's some sort of like tattoo on his wrist. Do you see that?
No, I missed that.
Either that or a bracelet.
Oh, true.
I thought it was a bracelet. Yeah. I just get such a Wall Street vibe from it. I don't know what those little symbols are on the wallpaper in the background. It's not a fleur-de-lis exactly, but something like that. But it just looks to me sort of like it's saying, that money and the world of investment rules our world, which I guess it does, but I don't want to know about that in a deck. I don't want that to be the Emperor. Yes, the Emperor, makes all the rules and enforces them, but I don't want ours to be ruled and enforced by money and finance. And we're getting it here, and not crazy about that as an Emperor card.
Yeah.
Any
I think it says something about.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gerald. Just reading the PDF to see if we could get anything more out of it.
No, I didn't have anything to add other than I understand that it does feel a little out of place, but sometimes the feel of the Emperor is that way.
True.
But
yeah,
but it is from a visual standpoint, it's also the only one where we have it that close up. All of the other cards you see most of the person or 3/4 of the person. So
the PDF just talks about the typical like male energy, authority figure, blah blah blah. But it's interesting at the very end. It says, "Beware with this one because the ego can get out of control."
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Well, this is my third card I'm not crazy about. It's the Star. and it's an astronaut floating in space, which feels just about as incongruent to the deck to me as the Emperor we just saw. All the others feel very earthy in a way, and very, I don't know, relatable. And yet this sort of takes us out of that earthiness into the sky. And for me, it just doesn't quite do it. I don't know.
Interesting. This is actually one of my favorites in my favorite pile. But I'm very much head in the clouds, like loving everything about the universe and space. And so I really like that this star card took us to that space up above versus us below looking above at the stars. I think it gives a different perspective. And I just love how it's sort of representing some sort of, I don't know, maybe a different dimension or constellation or whatever in the middle there. I just like the different perspective of the card. I still feel the same meaning behind it, but just a different take on it. So I like it.
Yeah. I think the card is very pretty. I understand what you're both saying, but it works for me from the from this the meaning of the star card. So
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
All right, so those are my three. Ange, do you want to do your three?
So one of the ones that I didn't like was the Emperor, but then I have two more, and one is the Chariot.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm like, really? I mean, and no, this is no shade to the artist. Like,
No.
Stasa, we love you. But what I'm saying is, this almost gives me more like a knight feeling, you know, like
No.
not really Chariot feels. I have absolutely nothing to go off of here in terms of imagery and symbolism, other than this horse that's clearly in motion and going forward. So yeah, we get forward movement, but like, is there something provoking him? Like, who else is in this image? Like, what's up with the coloring? I don't know. I don't really get too much out of it. So I don't really care for it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a happy horse by any means. I mean, usually the horses of the Sphinx that we get are not as demonstrative, like they look either sleepy or bored or rebellious in a quiet way. This one's kind of rearing up on his haunches, and that open mouth, toothy expression there just kind of looks like this is not a happy horse. And I'm just not sure. I get it in terms of the Chariot, it being a horse, but I'm not fond of this representation of a horse. So that's all.
This is in my pile of not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of it is because it has a very different feel than what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the PDF doesn't really give us anything more to go off of. I mean, she does say under the Chariot, the warrior, but then it gives your typical, like, you know, victory over opposition moving forward. So it doesn't really give us much more to go off of. So, and then my last one that I really don't care for is the Devil, because, like, I get it. Like, I guess you can kind of see like the light and the dark side here. I also maybe took this as, you know, sometimes the devil can be yourself, like you're the one that's sort of creating that inner turmoil and things of that nature. But I just don't have any more symbolism to go off of other than this dude who's not bad looking. I'm just saying, I don't know.
This is one of my sexy cards. This is the one I'm very drawn to, this devil. But as a devil, I'm not sure it works as a card. It's just a darkly handsome young man. You know, I don't know what's devilish about that. If there's something devilish, it may be intellectual or subconscious, something in his motives, because it just doesn't come across in the card, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I agree. Yeah, that was my last one that I didn't care for.
So we're doing ones we don't care for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't care for judgment. It's just
Oh,
a very different approach for me.
yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
when it shows up, I get different feelings from it. So, and
Yeah.
most of the time when I've read with this deck, and the judgment has come up, it's actually made sense where it goes, but it's like, ooh, I have to think about this differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
That one's
I
in my
agree.
that one's in my neutral pile. I agree with you about the meaning. I just think it's a beautiful looking card.
Mm-hmm.
it is very
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. It is, and I think, and this is the thing, I think all of the images in this deck are really amazing. I am very fond of the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I mean, and this is where, I mean, and that's one thing that I appreciate about the artwork is it has a different approach to it, and it makes me think about things differently, which I do value. I do value
Mm-hmm.
that. So, but
Yeah, she gives me, I shouldn't say she, this person gives me like hermit vibes, like sort of going within and the comforts of your surroundings. I don't really get but I also can understand how it can be related to judgment of like you want to sort of close yourself in so people can't judge in that respect. So it reads really well and I like it, but it just like you said, it hits differently.
yeah, it hits differently. Um, One card, I have the Ten of Pentacles also is a card that I struggle a
Oh,
little bit with.
me too.
And I'll be honest with you, I struggled with it initially until somebody explained to me what was going on. And it's like, okay, because we have a person who is actually, this is two people,
Yeah.
and one person's, what is that, downward dog or something, and then another person is over, and it's like, okay, that's interesting. It's just it's different, and I've had to remember to look at it, and so, but when I see that they're supporting each other like that, I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I had to look at this a long time before I could disentangle the bodies and figure out what was going
yeah,
on there.
yeah.
I'm still
So
not
Yeah,
sure about it reading as a Ten of Pentacles, but
yeah,
and
I agree.
the happy little dog on top of the tangled family. I don't know what to make of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm conflicted with it too. I like the art. I just don't know how really to interpret it as a Ten of Pentacles myself. But
I I think like or dislike these cards, they definitely are food for thought. They really give you a
mhm,
lot to think about in terms of interpreting them.
yes.
It's a challenge to some degree. I'm sorry, Gerald. Was that your second or your third?
that was my third because the chariot was also in there.
Oh, okay. Let me just check in on the chat, people. I don't know how far back we were. Uh, I see Kristen's. I like the star. I love the floating of free feeling. I project stars onto my ceiling to relax. That's Kristen Louise. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
nice. Pepper Jackie says looks like a whale. I'm not sure if that's the
Oh,
star
that's
card.
from, I think, the star.
The white cloud.
Yeah.
Uh, that horse looks like it's about to belt out a song. That's Ben. Kristen doesn't like the chariot either. The horse looks like he was just whipped and rearing up. Sheila Inquisitive says it looks like it's rearing up, not going forward. No inner will going on there.
Hmm.
Let's see. Kristen knows a guy who looks just like the devil and was a self-professed sociopath.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Colleen has to go and watch the Patriots and Bills battle it out. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Oh,
We'll battle out the Tiny Traveller while you battle out the sports. Sylvain, does anyone have both this one and the Anna K? I have a feeling that they would read similarly, but I haven't given this one a shot yet. Not me. Do either of you have the Anna K?
I do, but I don't have it near me.
Have you
I don't.
looked at them together to form an opinion on whether they'd work together or not?
I have not.
Kristen struggles with the Judgment card, loves the art, but not sure how to read it. Sheila not sure about the deck. Kristen says, read it as you need to shirk off your comforting cocoon. That's interesting.
What?
Oh, and I get what they're being said about the 10 of Pence. It's the couples yoga and trust and the strength to be able to do that, to be able to move that. Jen said that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Wait, what's going on? I'm confused. What's I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. Let's go back now to some cards we like. So I like the Eight of Pentacles. I've seen a few of these cards that have the sort of Buddha aspect in them. And actually my favorite deck, the Mara Loon, has a Buddha pose in it. And there's just something really peaceful about it. This one, I don't know if I read it as the Eight of Pentacles. I guess it is. It's work. It's like internal work to do studying. But it's not real typical for me as an Eight of Pentacles. But I love the coloring. I love the pose. I love that he's seated on books and reading or studying. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the look of the card.
Yeah, it's a reading learning rather than the physical learning like what we might see in the traditional RWS. So this was one that I enjoyed looking at. It's like, oh, and I pulled it out of my like pile.
I also kind of like the sort of double helix wisps of incense smoke in the background there too.
Oh, interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah. I love books. So, I mean, this is just, I just saw myself sitting on all my stacks of books. I really like that one too. Although it's not in my favorite pile, I do like it.
My next one that I like is the Four of Pentacles. And now I'm getting to, I'm not sure why I put these in the like pile, but I like the image. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't feel, it feels more needy than greedy. You know how the Four of Pentacles usually has a kind of a greedy feel to it? This one feels more like self-comfort through holding on to objects or something, which I kind of like that read on it better than the greedy card.
Yeah.
I think this is more of it's less greed and more, it is a gentler approach to it. So
hug and hold dear to you things that are of material value to you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, exactly. Like taking what you need in that very moment. Yeah, I like that take on it, actually. I hadn't really thought of it like that, but that's what the body language is suggesting for sure.
Yeah, it's sort of the way you would hold on to somebody who is struggling. You'd want to support them. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
And my third one, this is, I don't know why this is in my favorite pile either. I think my piles got kind of mixed up, but we can just talk. The Knight of Swords. This is not particularly a favorite card. It's an intriguing card to me because when I first looked at it, I thought, well, is it two butterflies or is it one butterfly that's being chopped in half by the sword? And I suppose you could read it either way, although I'm more inclined with the second interpretation. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Gerald.
Oh, I like this one. It's not in my it wasn't in my pile again. I like many of them. I'm trying to call them out. But I like how to hold a sword like that and to have these butterflies or moths come so close. It's very interesting, and I think it also makes it look like the person's eyes, and it's like these are the knight's eyes as well.
Ooh.
So from a visual standpoint, so it's very intriguing.
So you definitely do read it as two butterflies as opposed to one that's been just sliced in half right down the middle.
It could be either, and to be honest with you, Robin, I think it would depend upon
the reading.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if it were one, it would the antenna, there would be four antenna. What were you going to say, Ange?
Oh, I was just going to say when I initially was flipping through this artwork when I got the deck, I took this as one being sliced in half, just I guess without really reading too much into the details, and just slicing through the truth, getting clarity before moving forward is what I sort of got out of that. So that's interesting. I love talking about the detail and doing collabs like this because you learn so much more, right, about the artwork and things that you didn't see before. So
that's the way I learn best how to read a deck, actually, is to hear how other people read it or see what they see in it. It teaches me better than a teacher could when I could see what other people see in there.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just, it's the same as like a book club, right? You get together and you discuss a book, and somebody may have a different take on what they've read, which is really cool. I love it.
Okay, so that's my third. I don't know how long we can go on tonight. We're going kind of slowly with these, but I am enjoying looking at these. So as long as you guys are willing to do this, let's just keep going. So, Ange, do you have three more that you like?
I just have two more that I've selected for my faves, and then I don't have any more to discuss. Okay. But I have the High Priestess as one of my faves. Primarily because the High Priestess in any deck is like my thing. I love her. I really connect with her. And of course, owls are my thing. So I just fell in love with this. I just love how her feet are in the water. I love everything about this artwork. And I'm
so glad you mentioned her feet in the water. That was something that I was enjoying about the card as well. It's really pretty.
Yeah,
really pretty.
That's in my neutral pile. I do like her expression. I like the owl. I guess it's what kind of owl is that? Barn owl or something?
It's a barn owl.
It's a particular kind. And I like the sort of wreath on her brow, the way it's kind of reaching out. It's funny, like she's holding the owl and that wisdom close, but her mind is almost like reaching out. And her feet are kind of moving outwards, her toes moving outwards in the water. I kind of like that juxtaposition of things held in versus things branching out.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, like the little antenna on her head, like getting all the info. Cool.
It's lovely.
I like it. And then my last one that I love, and I usually love this card in any deck, but this is different, is the Death card.
Yeah. I like that one too.
It just hits. It's like, woo, yep, that's a Death card. All the imagery is there, and it you can go as deep as you want with it. I love the growth that is actually growing from what I would assume is the corpse. that there is, to me, like life after death. Of course, that's how I read it because that's what I believe. But yeah, I love that.
I like this one too. I don't find it disturbing either. It for me, it's a very peaceful death card. And I like how she's almost lying with death next to her, like a companion in bed or something. There's just something very restful and non-threatening about the transition to me. And the way, well, it looks like the vines have thorns on them that are growing out of them, but they also have like little leafy kind of buds too. So there's like the good and the bad in that growth and that transition.
Yeah.
Okay, Gerald.
Okay, so in the interest of time, I like the 5 of Swords.
Oh no. Oops. Sorry.
I like the 5 of Swords. It is very clear, and it is a reminder of actions that we take can be extremely damaging. So, and it connects it to it connects it more physically. So
it's a powerful card. I agree. I think I just can't get away from the Freddy Krueger aspect of it. So it's not been a favorite card for me by any means. But in terms of the messaging, I think you're right on there. I think it's a very good card for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. I'm very much with Gerald's interpretation. Ugh, my mouth is getting dry over here. It's really cold and we have the heat crank. So, but yeah, this is a really different take on the 5 of Swords, and I love what you shared, Gerald, because it's how I read it too. So it's it kind of is different than most of the imagery in the deck. Again, you're just seeing the hand, but there's enough here to go off of. So I do like it.
Yeah. And I also like this 3 of Cups. It just makes me happy. I think it's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a gentleness about it, so I'm all for that.
I like the imagery. I have trouble with her rainbow representations in this deck. I don't know why. It's just the coloration in all the cards that have rainbows, or the way that they bleed or something, just doesn't gel with me. But I love the women in that card.
Yeah.
And see, the rainbow is what really caught my eye in that card. Of course, I can't find mine in my deck. Of course, it's the last one. You should always start from the bottom, folks.
There you go.
Anyhow, and what I noticed too, like you said, the rainbow representation is this sort of circular rainbow shows up again in the 6 of Wands. Maybe not to the full extent of that, but I just noticed that the circular rainbow shows up in the 6 of Wands as well. And I like when imagery sort of shows up in different cards. You're like, well, how can I connect the 3 of Cups to the 6 of Wands? It kind of makes you think a little bit more. So I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was my last card as well. It's also in the 5 of Cups, although it's not a circular rainbow there, but you know, it's the same coloration kind of.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, was that your third one there?
Was that my third one? Because
did you have another?
Because I actually like the 5 of Wands as well, because I like how I learned the 5 as it's an exchange of energy, and with this, the exchange of that, it shows that it's, you know, when you rub ideas together, fire can ignite, so it can be pretty powerful. So
yeah, I think this is another one of those cards that can be read different ways depending upon the spread, because it's usually a conflict card, or playful banter, playful conflict. But this could be either, putting your flames together to make a bigger fire, or battling one another with flame torches.
Very much.
I like that. Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it because it was kind of like, I don't want to say pippish, but I wasn't really sure how to take it, but I love that interpretation.
Yeah, that's something that I look for. So
the 5 of Wands, you mean? Like in a deck, you look for the 5 of Wands?
I do look at the 5 of Wands because I want to feel, is it an energy exchange or is it a battle?
Okay.
Because an energy exchange can turn into a battle.
Yeah.
Something can go wrong. So yeah. But there we go.
Well, another thing in the RWS 5 of Wands, it's like, are they battling or are they actually trying to work together, but just completely ineffectually? It's like maybe they're trying to build something, but just don't have it together to do it, I'm going to go back. I guess it's my turn. I'm going to go off the positive, negative now and just go to like cards that are sort of puzzle me or whatever. This was not a favorite card just because I find it kind of painful. That sort of stab you in the eye card.
Yeah.
It's Justice, which I guess justice can be a pretty painful thing. I mean, the reading of some of these cards, regardless of the imagery, is pretty powerful. This is a pretty powerful card when you think about the impact of justice, and also that saying justice is blind. Well, we're pretty close to it in this card,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, the blade looks like a pen point rather than a sword. And there's that whole thing, the pen is mightier than the sword. So maybe it's like, that the ink that writes the laws for justice is, weighs heavily. And sometimes we're blind to the best way for justice to be served or something along those lines.
Yeah.
All right. This has been fun.
The 4 of Wands. I love this one. It's not the usual 4 of Wands. It's out in space. It's a pippish card. But I like how the 4 posts that are usually the little gazebo or the little, where people are running up to the end of the race to celebrate or whatever. It seems to be held together, these 4 posts, by these white connecting lines of energy or something. It's like almost like spiritual energy keeps your house up, or connects, keeps the walls from falling down, something connecting.
Yeah. I love how they bring in the celestial feel right in some of the cards, like the star card we're saying. We saw the Queen of Cups holding that, right? And she's sort of in this space, and here again in the 4 of Wands. I just love how you see it reoccurring in the deck.
And in the moon. What a beautiful moon card. Oh,
yes.
The face and those tears.
The tears.
We don't usually see that emotional aspect in the moon. So I love that.
Right. I'm not finding these cards fast enough. It's okay.
I'm starting to lose it now. So, I mean, I'm loving doing this, but I'm losing track of who
I'm gonna need to head out soon. So
when. So
yeah, I think
If you guys want to just whatever cards you want to pull up and talk about. I mean, I have so many left.
I think I've discussed all the ones that I had chosen, and I know Gerald did say that he had to be somewhere at a certain time tonight, so I want to respect that too. But Robin, thank you so much for having me. This has been great, and I just love this open dialogue that we're able to come and express our love and for the cards and for the artwork. And thanks everyone in chat for your interactiveness in all of this. I hope that some of you get the deck so that you can enjoy it as well. And
do you guys have time to help me with 2 more cards, or are you needing to stop?
If we do them quickly.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just like,
9 of Wands. I don't know what this means. If anybody wants to explain this card to me, or you know, I don't quite understand it.
That one was a different one. I don't know. Let's see.
I don't get the bound bone to the wand kind of thing. I mean, it seems sort of shamanic, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Persistence, stamina, holding fast. You may have been through some shit and a little beaten up, but stay strong. Be resilient and breathe. You are almost to a place of respite and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But are they with the 10 of Wands? Like, what?
It's a very evocative image.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of takes my breath away a little bit.
It feels spellbound or something, like a human bone or an animal bone bound to a growing wand or something. I just, I guess there maybe is some perseverance there or something, but it's just, I don't know. I'm going to really struggle with that. I'm going to have to think about it a lot more. The other one,
Kristen was saying that they're trying to heal the bone, so that actually does make sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one here, where it's almost like with the 6 of Pentacles.
Yeah, it's a string.
Which is usually a sort of a charity kind of card, I think. Is that the Pentacles? Yeah. But I'm not sure what this is. It's like some kind of, it's almost like mother bird feeding baby bird, but it's 2 people. I don't know what that connecting line through the mouth is all about, that thread of connection there, and what's passing between them if you think of it in terms of charity. I don't know how to read that card.
It's giving and receiving, have not. An exchange of some kind takes place on this card. It appears that some substance is being passed from one individual's mouth to the others. You will either receive or give something of great value.
Yeah.
The black line symbolizes this gift: money, knowledge, assistance, power. At first glance,
I can see there then the idea of some person feeding another person, feeding them perhaps intellectually or through their speech or their ideas.
Yes.
Although, yeah, I guess it would be mouth to mouth if it's feeding. I was going to say maybe mouth to ear would be better, or mouth to mind, but it's an interesting card.
Yeah, I see it as an active give and take, like actively, like you can actually see it. It's more of like an active card, and again, you could be giving or taking depending on which side of the card you're on. So,
well, thank you guys. I almost feel like this needs a part 2, but maybe we've given you enough food for thought out there to pursue this on another channel or explore this deck on your own. Everybody, I want to thank everybody who showed up, and Patrice says the wands are representing ribs. I think the ribs protect the delicate organs beneath them, heart protection. So, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for showing up, and thank my guests for joining me tonight. And I don't do these too often, but
thank you, Robin.
Yes, thank you.
Hope to do another one soon, and the more you do, I guess, the easier it gets. So,
yes,
we'll see what happens next. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to end the broadcast now, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please do help me get to 1,000, and also the lebrazen.com 10% off offer on the tumbler or the Toadstool mug or anything else. They have some other lovely designs there, so visit the website and check that out. Excellent. Bye, everybody. Have a great Saturday night.
Okay, bye.